Hey everybody, Weem here. Welcome back to Planet Explorers. It's been a little while, right? We've been pretty busy with a number of other things, but we're back here, back in our colony, back at the island, and kind of catching up on things. So I've got a couple different things I want to do. I'm going to catch you up on what we're doing as far as the garden back there with Riva. I want to talk to Alan and Gertie back at the main camp, see what they're up to. And I think we might just put together some kind of laser weapon thing today. It's been a while. I've been wanting to do that, and so we're finally going to take care of that today. So one of the first things we're going to note is that Philip, of course, is sleeping. This is pretty much how I found him when I came in here, which I suppose I shouldn't be surprised about at this point. But anyway, we're just going to go ahead and let him sleep because apparently he is very tired. But I want to run up here to the farm and kind of show you what's going on here. We've obviously got a lot of stuff planted still. We got this guy growing very well here. This thing just sprouted up. And we have Riva walking around here. Now, one of the things I did was I jumped in here really quick. Let's open this. And I went ahead and added in my water and the insecticide. Pretty much all that I had on me, because there was some in here, but not a whole lot. And I had switched Riva from, let's see, what was she on? She's on Manage now. I had her on Plant, so she was planting a lot. But with Manage, as you can see in the description, she'll water, she'll do all of the stuff, clean everything out. Let me just switch it back. Let's go Manage. So the farm will water, clean, and clear the plants. So I figured that would be good because we have a whole lot going on here already. So anyway, let me click this guy. You can see we've got all of this stuff planted here. All of this stuff going. And so anyway, we're going to let her continue to manage all of this by switching her into the Manage mode. And we'll probably change some things up later related to that, but we'll see. And of course, we'll let Philip be the... well, the protector. He's not really the best at that job, but we're going to go ahead and leave him to that. So for now, we've got the farm caught up with and everything. I had to make sure that everything was kind of going okay there, but I'm going to leave it in Riva's capable hands. Now, one of the big things that we've been wanting to do for quite a while is make a laser weapon. So let's see, if I jump into my equipment, let's see, go ahead and take a peek around here at what we've got. I know that I've got the equipment here for the laser rifle. In fact, we have some other things too for another type of gun. But we do have the grip, we have a muzzle type, and in fact we have a second muzzle as well. Now additionally, I went in and I've made some steel, so I've got that kind of floating around somewhere. So I'm kind of thinking we will involve that. One of the things I wanted to look at though, okay, there we go. We do have pigment. I didn't know if I had any. So I thought I would go pick some up if I didn't, but it looks like we're good. In fact, I even have some more water in here. So anyway, I think we're kind of set. Let's go ahead and start working on this laser weapon. Okay, here we are in the creation system. Let's go ahead and select gun. Now, one of the things a couple of you have said to me is that I should consider doing a pistol instead of a rifle because I tend to make rifles. And I think that's a cool idea. It's kind of old school sci-fi, right? Got the small little laser pistol. Now, I do want to use both of the muzzles, but I think we can work that into a pistol. So let's grab the parts. Let's see, we want the laser gun grip. And let's kind of spin this around. I want to center this. Something like that. Now, let's see. Let's do that. And then we've got the laser muzzle type. So this kind of clips through a little bit, which actually I think is okay. I think that actually looks alright. So let's do that. And we'll kind of make this stick out a bit. I want it to clip a little bit. So something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we want to bring it back farther than that. Let's try this. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Now let's go ahead and raise this up, and I'm thinking about setting this one back a little bit. Since this clips, we had to raise it a little. Kind of thinking something along those lines. A little hard to see without putting this down, which we can do. Something like that. I think that actually looks kind of cool. Now, really, there's not a whole lot of room here for material if we're just going to go with a, this kind of pistol. Let's switch back over here and refresh this guy. So we have no visible voxels. That's what we're going to do with steel. But we do have everything else here. Let's go to material. And steel. Let's see. How do we want to do this? I think what we'll do is probably go at this level, and I'm kind of wanting to keep this thin. Something like that. Kind of clip into these a bit. Let's just do that for now and see. Okay, so that actually works out pretty well. That's kind of cool. Obviously a little plain, but I'm just thinking of basic shapes right now. That actually is kind of cool. I may even come back a little bit farther, may go a little bit higher with this. I kind of want to come down at an angle back here as well, similar to the grip, but I don't know. Let's play around with it a little bit, play around with the shapes, and see if I can kind of mold it into kind of a form that looks cool, and then we can dive into the details. Okay, so I'm playing around with this back here. You can see I got the angle I was talking about there. So now I'm trying to kind of dial back some of this, and usually this is what I do. I just start kind of deleting parts of the shape that I had set up before, and sometimes kind of cool things come out of it unexpectedly. Things that look kind of cool that you don't plan on. That's usually how things kind of work out best. So anyway, this is kind of what we're looking at here. I know it looks really goofy here. I think I'm going to change this out a little bit, but I think it's not a bad start. I was kind of thinking I might bring this down at the 45-degree angle, and even that's actually not bad. We can even kind of go through here, something like that. Maybe even bring this up short. Let's see. Yeah, it's not terrible. Just give it some extra detail there. And then I'm almost thinking about having some kind of container or kind of a cartridge-like area on top. Let's see. What I mean by that is something like this, and then something separated out on the top so that I can get more material in here. If we look over here, we've got, let's see, final attack is 184. Now we're at 190 for having added a bit more material onto here. So the more we get onto here, the better. I'm thinking about kind of wrapping around the side of this too, as I've kind of done with some of the other weapons, having some kind of shell come around this stuff out here. But anyway, let's go ahead and make this top part a little bit bigger. In fact, now that I think about it, what we could do is carry this right over the top of everything. That's not what I meant to do. No. You have to do it the other way. Whoops. Single click, Weem. Single click. Oh, sometimes this thing does not want to go the way I want it to go. Anyway, I think I'm going to carry this out over the top, and maybe I'll wrap from the top down around the sides, but work continues. Okay, I think we're getting close here. You can see I've pretty well wrapped this with material, and the damage, we're getting the final attack 282, and I'd like to get to 300, but I'm not sure that we'll get there, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be. I kept kind of thinking that this needed to be on par with the rifle, but it's a pistol. They're not supposed to be a whole lot better than the rifle, and that's kind of a crazy rifle that we've got going, even if it's not a laser rifle. So anyway, we're going to keep adding material, and I'm trying to, at least I'm considering, wrapping this front in a really thick block. It seems like it might be kind of cool. You can see back here I did kind of like a cylinder shape. I was kind of imagining that is the battery, essentially, because it does use a battery, and it seems like it's shaped similar to this. So I thought, well, I want a block of material, so let's go ahead and make it look like a battery on here, because that could be kind of cool. So let's see, we're going to do this kind of thick since it's going to clip in anyway. And this is a little bit what I was thinking. And then I might even kind of close this in a bit. I know I don't need to come over because I have mirroring on, but sometimes it's a little easier to do that. Okay, so let's see this thing. So it's very strange looking. I totally get that. Very strange looking indeed. We did just cut off this front muzzle part. I don't think that matters. That's fine. So anyway, and I could actually bring this back and completely cover this top muzzle up, but I'm thinking that we might actually instead go ahead and make the room needed for this to come through. Let's see. Something like that, right? Probably gonna have to come down a bit more, but anyway, we can still make up for lost material in other ways. So yeah, something like that might be kind of cool. Then we can kind of bring this up another level or 2 or 3. And then finally do something like that. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. Thick, blocky, it makes it look heavy. I was even thinking that I might bring this back and connect it to the main body of the gun, but I actually think that looks kind of cool. Let's go ahead and refresh this a bit. 291, come on, Weem. You can find a way to get more material in here. So let's see, I think what we'll do is, let's see, how do we want to do this? I could just make it a little deeper, essentially. Let's try this. And then come across here. Something like that. Of course, we have the thickness of it up top we can fill in as well. Something like this. A little hard to get sometimes. There we go. That didn't help a whole lot. So anyway, we're just about there. I really like the look of the gun at this point. It's pretty cool. I think we can probably add some material down the bottom here. Let's check that out. Let's see. Something like... How can we do this? Let's just do it this way. Bring it down. Something like that. That's not bad, actually. That looks kind of cool. I can dig that. So we're at 295. I'm going to go ahead and add a bit more material on here. I would really like to get this over the 300 mark, so I'm going to do just that, and then we'll take a look at what we've got. Well, there you have it. I think we have got it where I want it. You can see over on the right we have a final damage of 307, so that's cool, over the 300 mark. We've got a whole lot going on, and I actually really do like the look of this thing. I really like the kind of blocky, solid look of it. Very cool, but we have plenty of room for details here. We got a lot of detail going on already, but I'm going to actually go back in here now and kind of remove material in order to give it some detail. For example, we can select areas like this and take pieces out. I don't know if I'll kind of do that or not. We'll take those back out. But I'm going to go through here and kind of do things like that. Kind of leave little indentations. That kind of opened up a hole there. Our damage is still the same there. So that's kind of cool. So we're going to go through and play around with that. And add some detail to this thing. But let's take a look at some of the paint really quick. And I generally don't like to go solid black. I think it's a little too much, but let's go ahead and try that on for size. Something like that. And then let's see. So again, we're left without the parts, just the material here, so we can actually see what we're painting. Let's go ahead and do some of this there. So I think that actually looks pretty good. I think that can work quite well. Let's see here. I'm gonna paint some more of this down. Yeah, I think that's gonna be good. Let's go ahead and jump back to parts, and let's see here. Yeah, I think that'll work. It blends pretty well, but not too much. Obviously, we can't get that kind of gunmetal color from our paint, but I think that works pretty well. So we're gonna go ahead, paint everything here, and then use what was it? The material. It's kind of the eraser, essentially, right? You can use this pointer to go ahead and remove parts in order to add some more details. So I'm gonna go through and do some touch-ups, do some paint, and then we'll take a look at the final product. Okay, well, there you have it. We've got everything painted and detailed a bit. I took a couple corners out, especially down here along the battery. I took out some of the back end here, and otherwise I left things kind of alone. The more I kind of removed, the less I liked the look of it. I just thought it looked pretty cool as it was. We're going to keep it pretty simple. And if we jump back in here, you can see that we are at 306, so still above the 300 mark, which is cool for me. So I think we're all set. I am pretty happy with it. So let's go ahead and get this thing saved. Let's go ahead and save this as the MEW. Was I going to do MEW? The Weem Laser. pistol. Let's see. And then I don't really need that. Let's see here. Kind of move this around a bit. See if we can get a good angle on this thing. There we go. Something like this. Go ahead and capture that. Very cool. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And then export it. We've got all the material. We're using 10 steel. Not too bad. Looks like I made 52 just to be sure. Let's go ahead. Export that. So we're now good. And let's jump back out and give it a whirl. Okay, well there's not a whole lot of action out on the island except for sea creatures every once in a while. So let's go ahead and break out the helicopter here and head over to where there might be some action. Let's see. Gonna get in this thing and jam. I think we'll just head over here where the other guys are across the way. They've got all kinds of creatures roaming around here on their shore, so let's go take them out. Land this thing right on the beach somewhere. You can see my pickaxe sticking up in the air. I'm asking for trouble. Would clip right into the blades. Would not be good. Ooh. Go ahead and pick this guy up real quick. We don't want it rolling off anywhere. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out. I haven't equipped this or anything yet. We've got, let's see, there we go. Here's the pistol. We'll go ahead and put that in the number 6 slot. We do have batteries. I don't think these had to be out in your inventory, but I'm going to go ahead and throw one out there anyway. We can test that. I'm sure a number of you already know, but never used these before. So there we go. We got the laser pistol. We can pull it out. So you can see he still puts his hand in front of it like a rifle. I actually wasn't sure if he would do that or not. Oh boy. You see, Ivan, when you shoot through fingers, you're more accurate. You don't want to hit fingers. Okay, let's see. Sorry, just a little meme going around. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and, yeah, we can just take this guy out. Let's try this here real quick, because he's just going to run off anyway. Okay, so that totally didn't fire. Oh, Weem, what have you done this time? What have you done this time? Okay, it took me a second to realize that I have to right-click the battery in order to kind of set that up. So anyway, we've got this out. We have full battery. Let's go ahead and try this guy out here. Ooh, look at that. One shot, he goes down. Shoot that guy over there. So you can see it doesn't take a whole lot of the battery, especially when you've got 2,400 or so. Looks like I did not hit him. There we go. Cool. Now I'm going to check out the rate of fire on this guy. Oh, that's pretty good. And you can even see the 2 from the muzzles. Not bad at all. So let's go ahead and I think if we go to the map here, yeah, we have some creatures, or at least an area where these creatures tend to be over in this area, over in this direction, over in this area. But we'll see if they're over there. Now, I think, if I recall correctly, that they were just there. Actually, maybe I'm thinking of a different spot. I thought maybe they might just be out here at night, but they could very well be over here. We're going to just take a quick peek on the other side. I think this cave actually pops out into the valley over on this side. I ran through there one time, so we'll just go right over the top, see what's going on. I don't see anything immediately, but when I ran into them last time, they were on the far side, so I think we're going to go ahead and head over in that direction. And I do recall now that it was during the day, so we'll see. Maybe they're just outside of our view and they'll pop in. Ah, there's one. So let's go ahead and try this out. We're going to see how poorly this goes. Hey, get it back out. What are you doing? Keep going. There we go. Oh, that's doing pretty good. For a pistol, it's doing pretty good. He's, oh, try to avoid that, Weem. Down he goes. Not bad. So we were able to take him out before he even got to us, which is very cool. We're going to go ahead and take your 406 meat dollars. And it looks like we got another one there. I don't know if there's only one of these guys here, and he pretty much respawns right away, but I think that was a pretty good test. We used quite a bit of the battery there. Okay, on the way back, I noticed these sharks down there and realized that I've never tried to shoot these guys from the air. Oh, look at that. It's sighted right in on him. So let's go ahead and try to take him out. Looks like it's doing pretty well. Down he's going to go. Unfortunately, can't really get to him. I don't want to land the helicopter in the water, of course. I could swim out there. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know that I would get out there in time, though. Okay, cool. Did not let him go to waste. I got out there in time and scooped up his bits, so we are doing pretty good there. So let's go ahead and cruise up here because we want to look into charging these batteries. I'm pretty sure I can just drop these right in and get them charged. Let's jump up here real quick. And let's see here. We've got this guy here at 520. So let's go ahead and open this up. Take this guy out. I think we can just drop this. There we go. Very cool. So that should start to charge up. It's at 520. We're going to go ahead and leave that there, being supplied power. Now, there is a small solar-powered station that the NPCs have, and at least off the top of my head, unless I forgot, I don't remember seeing that anywhere. It could be that Attilo has that for sale, but I seem to recall wanting to get one of those before and not being able to find it. Philip, really? Are you still sleeping? Jeez. Well, that'll about wrap it up for this episode of Planet Explorers. I do want to thank you guys for stopping in and watching. We did pretty well. We finally got around to making a laser weapon, and I'm very happy with it. Works out quite well. So anyway, we're going to let that battery charge and see what that's up to. We didn't get around to going and checking in on Alan and Gertie. I kind of want to see what they're up to and see if we can bring them over here. I seem to recall actually going back and talking to them and them not having the option to come here, but we're going to go double check because that's something that you guys have mentioned that I should do, so we will do that. So anyway, we're going to leave it at that. Like I said, thanks again for watching, everybody. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.